Dlangalala, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. How are you feeling this morning?
A bit tired. It's been a long trip and a long talk, but we are fine. Health-wise, no issues for all of us.
Coach, how was the tournament in terms of the performance of the boys, the environment, and everything that happened in Poland?
Yeah, it was a very good experience, an eye-opener for all of us, I should say. It was a development tournament, meaning the players are being given the opportunity to play at international level. When I say players, I'm talking about all teams. Luxembourg, Poland, Northern Ireland, ourselves, of course. It was a matter that every player should play. The rules are very clear. Each player, after 3 games, each player should have played for 90 minutes. That is the essence of youth development. So I must say it was a good experience, and UEFA and its members are taking youth development very seriously, the level that they've put in, because if you look at, as I say, that each player in the team of 20 has to play 90 minutes a minimum, then it tells you, and also you are not allowed to play 2 full games, one after the other, so that it makes sense, because then it gives everyone a chance. The conditions will be different. Poland is a different country. It's in the east of Europe. It's in northern hemisphere, so very cold. Last game yesterday we played at 4 degrees, but it was sunny. Just that it was bright, but the sun only brings light. And the first game, it was freezing cold in the morning of that day, but then it opened up. By afternoon, it was a bit good, but of course the shock of seeing snow was still there in the mind. So yes, overall, very good experience. One will wish to have more of this, but definitely with the teams that have been selected nationally. We all understand what happened because of time factors. We selected a team that could have been selected at the time. In the future, I'm sure we'll select a team from the whole country, and by all means will be a better team.
Coach, if you can please expand on that, because you know, as football fans, whenever a squad is selected, be it senior team or youth teams, we always question what is the criteria, why so-and-so was selected, why so-and-so was not selected. What were the challenges in putting together this team, and how did you go about putting it together?
Initially, when the invitation came, I think it was around the 20th of February, Monday, I think, somewhere there. Initially, we thought we will have a group of players to select from, put together and have a selection. But it turned out that when the host, Poland, informed us that their embassy will require 15 working days to process visas, it cut down the very short time that we had anyway. So we needed to find a solution to that. By the way, I should say the Football Association should be congratulated for taking this opportunity. It could have been easy to decline it because we don't have time to prepare. We don't have an under-16 national team. However, when we were contacted and I was approached, I said, let's go for it. We'll take the bullets. Everybody is free to blame, criticize, and I'm happy with that. What I'm also happy about is that we have given South African boys, 20 of them, an opportunity to play at international level. I'm also happy that we put a show there that the report will tell when it comes. We put a show there that says, please invite South Africa again. So not necessarily in Poland, but in terms of UEFA assist program. So it was difficult. We needed to look for players that were active in February. It turned out that all the other provinces, youth leagues had not started, only Gauteng and Western Cape. So that narrowed our selection to those 2 provinces. We might have picked up a player from another province, maybe who plays in the regional league or provincial league. But at the end, because of time constraints, that to look for that player is much harder than to find a player who plays in the under-19, under-17 league in a province. So that is what the criteria was. If you ask me, is it fair? It cannot be fair. It was the circumstances that presented themselves. In the future, will you consider everybody? For sure, if I was given an opportunity and have time, we'll do that. But I think even besides, SAFA is already launched under 15 program that should cover everybody. If people in the LFAs, in the regions and the provinces do a good job, in July the top of the crop should be at a national tournament where the under-15s will play, and then a selection will be done for the national team. But it all depends on me and you. If we do a good job where we are, then we give the national coaches a good selection, good quality of players. If we don't do that, as I always say, if our clubs do not play football in the right way, the national coach has no chance but to select from that league that doesn't play good football. So it's up to all of us at the end. Yes, whoever selects in the final team takes responsibility.
Coach, unfortunately in South Africa we did not have access to these games. It was difficult to find information. If you could just briefly take us through the 3 games, how did you boys play? Because I read one of the reports from I think it was Ireland, where they said the boys came very strong in the second half. The combination play, it was beautiful to watch. But in your words, how did the boys perform in the 3 games in terms of the performance?
The players we had, after all that I've explained, the players we had did very well. As a team, we showed European opponents that we have something they don't have, and they appreciated that. They were full of compliments about that. We have the talent. For me, if we won all these games, just as we lost all of them, I don't think it's so much about my coaching or myself. It's about South African future, the talent we have in our youth, the responsibility we have to progress this youth from where it is to better heights. Yes, the first game we started very jittery. We played on a very heavy field, as I've explained. It was a very strange surface for our players, but so they struggled in the first half. We went half time 0-2 down. The second half, with acclimatization and obviously picking up certain things, we came back very strong. We could have won that game by any score. When I say any score, I mean literally. We had close to 10 chances that we should have scored. It didn't happen, so we lost 2-1. We only scored 1. The second game we started well. The first half we dominated completely. But as I said, because we have a group, we needed to play everybody in the sense that we have to satisfy the rule of the tournament. So at some point we collapsed, I should say, and Poland scored goals and we played football. The last game, again, a very difficult condition, which was on Saturday. Yesterday. We played the last game against Luxembourg. We made some errors. They scored 3 goals in that 4 degrees conditions. It was freezing cold. But we came back second half. We could not make 3. We lost 3-2. So the players with the limited time, with only 6 days of training that we had 4 in the first camp when we needed to apply for visas. Then we had 2 days before we left. So given that and their commitment and everything else, a lot of credit goes to their clubs, the coaches who work with them. I don't work with them. They are not what they are because of me. I only had 6 days with them, 7 training sessions. So they are what they are because of the coaches that coach them from all the clubs. Big thank you to all of them. A big thank you to those clubs, and a very big thank you to the parents. All these kids are underage. They might have just said, no, my kid is not traveling. That would have been the end. So a big thank you to everybody that put in a hand, the TD, Walter Steenbok, and the SAFA, from the presidency to the NEC. And we had the Vice President, Mr. Zwane, who traveled with us as the head of delegation. So the support was very good. This being a first ever under-16 national team in South Africa since 1992 when we came into FIFA and CAF. So it's a milestone. It will have all its dark spots and it's acceptable, but it's a milestone, and I think the future looks brighter than yesterday.
Coach, I know I said I won't hold you long. Just last one. Did the size factor play a role? Because I was looking at the pictures. The Poland boys are big. The Northern Ireland boys are big. Did it play a role in the game?
It, like anything in life, it plays a role if you focus on it. We were able to dominate those teams. Of course, not for 90 minutes, but for the better part of most games we did well, and it doesn't play well. In fact, from what I hear, I know, although it's not official, the UEFA technical assessors rated our player who was wearing number 15, Emil Vetboy. He's from the School of Excellence. He's 2008. They rated him as the player of the tournament. He was the shortest, and the smallest in size. If they all went to scale, I'm talking in all the teams. So it just goes to prove that size is not a factor unless you make it a factor. Of course, if you are big and you want to muscle yourself around, you will win the contest. But if you are playing small and smarter players who know how to use their strength, you just have a 50% a chance as them. So in essence, it doesn't play a factor. But if you are focused on it, if you want to use it as a strength, good. We used our small size as a strength, and we succeeded to make those bigger and taller players run around for some time.
Coach, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it. Hope you get your rest now, and then before we start again. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.